Are you a mature adult who believes this new chapter in your life is the start of something exciting? Life after 50 is brimming with new opportunities. Welcome to Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior. Join your hosts Robin Clare and Rebecca Sears as they explore what it means to age like a warrior, taking control of your journey, embracing the challenges of aging with resilience, and making a positive impact on your life and the world around you. Get ready to shatter the stereotypes of aging and prove that seniors truly rule. It all starts now. Hello and welcome to Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior. I'm Robin Clare.
And I'm Rebecca Sears. And today we're going to dive deep into what it means to own your health like a warrior.
Yes, so that's right. We're not talking about fitness or eating right. We're looking at health in a holistic way, mind, body, spirit, and emotional well-being, all working together to help you age with resilience, vitality, and purpose.
So whether you're feeling full of energy and ready to take on the world, or maybe a little stuck and looking for a spark, this episode is for you. So let's jump in.
Great. Let's do it. Okay. So in episode 1, we talked about vitality because we think that that's what we're looking at for all seniors. And we think that there's 3 pieces of vitality, and we'll keep coming back to vitality. We decided in each episode because it's really important. So we called it the vitality pie, and there's 3 slices. The first one is vital as energy. So it's about staying physically strong, mentally sharp, and engaged in life. And then there's vital as contribution, feeling essential in your family, community, and workplace. And then, of course, there's vital as your health metrics, keeping those key health indicators like blood pressure, blood sugar, overall fitness on track.
Right? A lot of people think of health as just a number on a chart, but really it's how you feel, how you show up, how you contribute to the world around you.
Yeah. So we think we need an integrative approach to health.
Absolutely.
So let's break that down, starting with the mind.
So according to the CDC, 1 in 10 adults over 45 reports worsening memory loss. I've had that happen on occasion with this tirade. And according to Columbia Irving Medical Center, by age 65, nearly a third of Americans have some level of cognitive impairment.
Yeah, and I mean, we all have senior moments, and it's funny here working at the seniors job bank. I can wear that like a badge of honor. If I can't remember something, I'm like, oh, I'm having a senior moment. But it's okay because I think sometimes saying I'm having a senior moment takes away the sting of not being able to remember, and then you can just maybe ground yourself and think about what is it that I was trying to say that was so important. But it's okay. We're all having it, and so we're going to look at that because we can improve our cognitive abilities
Right.
as we age. So here's some recommendations. The first is physical activity. And I found this interesting that moving your body keeps your brain young.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really always correlated the two.
I mean, every time I've gone for a walk, been on the treadmill, or a lot of times I should say, not every time, but my personal experience with it is when you give yourself time to move your body, I feel sharper, I feel clearer after. I definitely emotionally feel better for sure. There's something called runner's high, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a made up term. So I know I've felt when I've taken good care of my body, I feel better, mentally.
And I think maybe exercising, what it does too for the brain is it allows you to have more clarity about things that are going on in your life because you're not in your brain unless you're sitting there saying, okay, it's been 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Like if you're not doing that, if you're really just allowing yourself to go for the walk or swim, you would probably be surprised how many things that you've been worried about actually come into focus. So that's kind of cool. So the next one another action is to social engagement, stay connected, meet new people, join a group. And this actually is the topic of our third episode. So I'm excited about that one. But I mean, Becky, you see that as a director of a senior center, how critically important social engagement is.
Yeah. It's a big part of addressing the isolation and the loneliness can lead to depression.
Yeah.
So, and that can sometimes increase anxiety. And so a lot of studies were done during COVID. We saw firsthand what happens to people emotionally and cognitively when they're isolated. So we know from reports from the Alzheimer's Association and other organizations that, it's really, really important to stay connected to other people.
Yeah.
That really does help kind of keep you sharp, keep you engaged, keep you connected, centered.
Yeah, and we see that as well at the seniors job bank because people go back to work and they're kind of really happy about it because they have someplace to go. They're going to be talking to folks and they enjoy it. Okay, lifelong learning is another way to have cognitive, maybe I'm going to say cognitive growth, and certainly limited impairment is to take up a new hobby, challenge your brain, and to stay curious. And this is something really personally for me. I like to cook, but I don't really have any hobbies per se. So I'm thinking about this. What would I want to do as a hobby?
Well, it's a great way to reconnect with places and spaces that give you joy,
Yeah.
which helps you with your emotional health. It also creates new pathways in your brain.
Yeah.
And really kind of that lifelong learning process is so good for your cognition. You can get more information on that if you visit the Alzheimer's Association online. But it's something I find myself. I always feel better when I'm learning something new. It seems to kind of re-energize me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and reconnect me to those things that, yeah, like I said, bring you joy.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So aging warriors, we like to train our mind, just like our bodies. So like we talked about learning a new skill, playing an instrument, that's a great way
Yeah.
to kind of re-energize that brain. Learning a new language, that's a fantastic way too, to really start to expand.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're going to go now to the body, like aging with strength and vitality. So we're going to be talking about physical strength. And according to PubMed, only 13.9% of adults over 65 meet the recommended physical activity guidelines. So we got to keep moving.
Yeah,
Even well, we're going to talk about these things, but even like stretching is so critically important.
So the recommendation, I think right now is 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. They're also recommending, I know a lot of us have Fitbits or we have our iWatches that are tracking our steps. They're now saying anything under 3,000 steps is considered sedentary. So there is a recommendation that of course, these facts and figures change all the time, but I think it's good to kind of put that top of mind. I know a lot of my seniors and a lot of my staff members, we're all trying to reach that 10,000 step mark a day.
That's a lot of steps.
It is a lot of steps. You have to remind yourself to get up from the desk and walk around or go walk around the building, go get some fresh air.
Park at a far spot instead of a close one. Yeah.
Right. Don't fight for that close parking spot. That's not.
Yes. We really have to do that.
If you can. Right. So that means we have some work to do. So there are 3 simple ways to start. Strength training is a recommendation. Even light weights can prevent muscle loss. Food as medicine, eat for energy, not just for taste. And there's so much information you can find online about food for medicine. It's really kind of amazing what's on there. Lots of fiber recommended, lots of greens, lots of dark fruits, and then movement as medicine, yoga, tai chi, stretching, gentle but powerful ways to get started if you have been sedentary. Those first steps, literally taking those first steps to walk if you can, or choosing an exercise like that's gentle is a great way to get yourself reintroduced.
So I just want to go back to these because I think they're really, really important. On the strength training, I I use hand weights. They're not heavy, but I use them consistently. But I also do wall push-ups. I
Mm-hmm.
find even doing my 20 wall push-ups a day, I can feel it, across the top of my chest and my arms. And so when I'm doing other things, like carrying groceries, or I just traveled and I had a big, heavy suitcase. Next time I'm not doing that. I say that every time, right? How many pairs of shoes do I need? Um, so but it made a difference that I could walk through these giant airports, with my own suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even hand, push-ups against the wall is just such a great exercise.
Yeah, we
And
do want to remind people that we are not clinicians
oh
or
no,
physicians,
no,
and that before you decide to take on anything brand new,
yeah,
that you talk to your doctor
yes, for
and that you
sure.
meet with a professional. Robin and I have worked with seniors for well, my whole career, and so we're familiar with a lot of information, but we are not clinicians or physicians.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Okay, and so food is medicine, though, I think is important too. Just everything is, has it's important to eat the foods that have the most vitamins
Mhm.
and energy for you. And of course, a lot of the centers now offer yoga for seniors.
Mhm.
And so if you're intimidated by yoga, yoga for seniors, chair yoga,
Mhm.
those are wonderful yogas, and you're gonna get a lot out of them.
Yeah, you check with your local senior center to see what they provide for programs. Many of the programs are adapt for folks that are over the age of 65. In fact, all of them have that
Yeah.
in mind. And there are varying levels and
Yep.
degrees of programs that also they can also walk you through. If you have questions about where to start, just go down to your local senior center, meet with the staff that are there, and they'll help walk you through it,
That's
literally
great.
and figuratively.
Yes, that's great. So, so movement isn't just about exercise. Of course, you can walk your dog, dance in the kitchen. That's my favorite. Just make it fun.
Yeah,
Fun is good. Okay,
absolutely.
so we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Hi, and welcome back to Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior. I'm Robin,
And I'm Rebecca Sears.
and we are going to be talking about now spirit, finding purpose and connection on the path to aging like a warrior.
Yep. So we're going to shift gears and talk about the warrior's spirit.
Mhm.
According to The Guardian, studies show that when people lose a sense of purpose, their cognitive health declines. That makes sense.
It does. And we do so much purpose work here.
We
That's
do.
really what we do at the
Yeah.
at the seniors job bank. Um, that's why we say that faith and mindfulness, a daily practice like meditation, prayer, or gratitude, can be life-changing, especially gratitude.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a skill that if you can learn it and take ownership of it, it really changes your perspective on all things in life. You're not the victim of everything. You recognize the gifts that are presented to you in life through new connections, new people, new activities. And I think it helps you heal faster from trauma and from negative experiences if you can find the grace
Yeah.
within each challenging situation.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I know, as I used to teach meditation, it doesn't have to be, we're not talking about 30 minutes, an hour.
Mm,
We're talking about 10 minutes. We're even talking about even just a series of mantras that you might have for your life,
mm,
sayings that are important to you. Um, Walking meditation, it's about breathing while you're walking. That's a form of meditation. Like I was walking the other day and I was taking very deep breaths, slow, deep breaths, and it was wonderful. I really actually enjoyed the frigid air because I was just mindfully taking it in.
There's so much that comes at us all the time, even with our cell phones, social media. Many of us are still working and the task list is kind of unending and there's so much coming at us all the time. I think it's really important for us to remind ourselves that that sitting and giving yourself that space to have stillness is okay. You know, we don't have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, our value still is still there. It's still present. You know, it's so important to take that space
Yeah.
and time.
Yeah. Okay. The power of rituals, morning routines, journaling, or even a simple cup of tea with intention. And I think this is important because once we get into our day, sometimes we forget about
Yeah.
these rituals. Now, I know a lot of folks that will be listening to this are officially in retirement, but my friends that are officially retired tell me they don't know where their day goes either.
Right. They don't know how they worked before because they're so busy.
Yeah. Right.
We know how to fill our space. We know how to fill our day.
Yeah.
With activities, but I love this idea of a morning ritual before
Yeah.
you head out into the world. Really give yourself that time to be reflective and sit in a space of meditation.
Yeah. And so the last one on this list is legacy and impact. What's your mission, personal mission, and how do you want to be remembered? And I think that's a great thing to look at. And just, yeah, just if there's something you want to be remembered for, then I think now's the time to think about it and then say, am I achieving this? And if not, how can I achieve it? It's like when you go to when someone passes away. One of our board members passed away, and I really adored him, and I love spending time with him. But when I read his obituary, there were so many things that he did that I didn't know.
Isn't
And
that wow? Yeah.
so when you have a mission and when you want and you know how you want to be remembered, share the news.
Yeah.
Let the
Yeah.
people you love know
And,
things.
and remember your mission hasn't ended like with your
Right.
job or with like
Yes.
this is an opportunity for you to completely go in a different direction, do
Yeah.
something new and exciting.
Yes. So here you
So one small step, find one thing today that gives you purpose and lean into that.
lean into it. I love that because it could be whatever, when we look at purpose, it could be helping to take care of your grandchildren, traveling, getting a part-time job, getting into the best health that you can, volunteering. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And there's so many options and so many combinations. So I love that lean into it.
Right. And really self-reflect, connect with what really does bring you joy. Are you satisfying a need for someone else, or are you embarking on this adventure for yourself to fuel yourself and your greater purpose?
Wonderful. All right. So next one is emotional health, thriving through change. So aging warriors also need emotional resilience. Life throws challenges, retirement, loss, change, but how we respond is what matters.
So some key strategies for emotional strength. First one is stress management. And these are sort of like actionable items that we're presenting as options, but breathing exercises are a great way to center yourself and reduce that cortisol level and increase that feeling of peace. Meditation, you can speak on this since this is your area of expertise, but I know myself, I've used a couple of different online tools for meditation because I'm somebody that has a million things going through my brain all the time and it never really ends. And so those are sometimes a great, if you're not a natural person to like take on the meditation or sit in stillness, there's some great apps that are out there. And then like we talked about before, gratitude. Gratitude is such a huge piece of this.
Yeah, so the other day I saw a little video and it said if you're feeling stressed and you have anxiety, you should breathe in twice and then breathe out long. So it's right. and supposedly it's supposed to bring the anxiety down in your body. And I'm like, wow, so that's really simple, right? And then meditation, you were talking about guided meditation, which is a wonderful thing to look up that on YouTube, because there's so many wonderful guided meditations where you just have to be present with the words, and it'll automatically take you, if you can keep listening, it will take you to a space where you'll be able to get the benefits of relaxation and groundedness from meditation.
I found it to be really powerful.
Yeah. So you are not too old to try new things, to love, to grow, to start fresh.
I do want to go back to when we were talking about strategies. I don't want to forget the piece that relationships matter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I really want to, it's so important if you can to stay connected to family and friends and community. And again, the senior center is a great way to connect to, if you go to your local senior center, is a great way to connect. And then breaking free from limited beliefs. We have that on our list as well.
Yeah. So this rejecting the idea that aging is decline.
Right.
So self-limiting beliefs or limiting beliefs are when you feel or think that that it just stops you. It's a negative thought, it's a belief. So if you are thinking something over and over again, it becomes a belief.
Right.
And if what you're thinking over and over again is negative, then you're going to create a belief inside of yourself. On the flip side, if you can find positive things to keep thinking about and get excited about, those two become a belief. And then those two will help you to age like a warrior in a very positive way.
Right. So, going back to, you are not too old to try new things, to love, to grow, to start fresh.
Yes.
It's like, so this is warriors. Here's your final mission here.
Yeah.
Health isn't about one thing. It's about harmony, mind, body, spirit, and emotions working together.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. I wrote a book called Feast and Famine, and it was about recovery. And I interviewed many folks who were in long-term recovery. I was curious to know the difference between long-term recovery and short-term recovery. And each one of them said the same thing, is that recovery to them was this integration of mind, body, spirit, and emotions working together. So in a given day, they're doing a piece of each of those in order to make sure that they're staying integrated. So I find that so fascinating. So how do you, without that sounding overwhelming, how do you foster an environment of integrated health? And one of the things that you can do is really focus on your sleep. Like turn off the TV and go to sleep.
And your phone. Turn off your phone.
Oh,
2 hours. They say 2 hours. Put it away before you go to bed.
What do they call it? In fact, I was watching Jeopardy the other day, and the term doom scrolling was actually one of the answers. I'm like, been there, done that.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Okay. And so, of course, we talked about moving daily. Find something you enjoy and stick with it, like a daily movement, whether it's dancing in the kitchen or taking a walk or whatever works for you, but do it every day, even if it's 10 minutes. 20 minutes would be ideal, half hour, but do what you can. And then manage your stress. Even 5 minutes of deep breathing makes a difference. Or what I shared with you, even that 2 in, 1 long one out will make a big difference.
And most importantly, embrace your power, your passion, and your purpose.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So we're coming to the end of our podcast today, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about episode number 3, which we will be recording on the second Thursday of March, and we'll be here at 4 p.m. Eastern time or 1 p.m. Pacific time. And so next time on Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior, we're going to be talking about staying active and engaged. So we feel that retirement isn't the end, it's the beginning of new opportunities. And we'll be looking at ways to remain active through volunteering, community involvement, lifelong learning. and meaningful social connections. So our intention with this next episode 3, Staying Active Engaged, is to inspire our listeners to find joy and purpose in every stage of their lives.
So we thank you for joining us on Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend and subscribe. We do encourage you to visit the World Health Organization, which is who.int, for further details on some of the information that we presented today. And don't forget, small changes lead to big transformations. Until next time, keep aging with strength, resilience, and purpose.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Seniors Rule, Age Like a Warrior. Join us every second Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Seniors Rule is here to dismantle the myths around aging, empowering you to embrace your wisdom and experiences as assets that drive personal and societal change. For more information and to connect with us, visit seniorsrulenow.com.